It's Stephanie for Mondays, and this is the first non-introduction week. What we're going to do on this channel is pass the topic. So Mondays chooses one week, Tuesday chooses the next week, Wednesday chooses the next week, and so on. And so it's Monday, or the first week, and I'm Monday. So we're going to talk about a New York Times article I read yesterday. Actually, we had a topic that Zach suggested, and it was a really good topic, so I hope we come back to it, and I talk about it a little bit in this video. But the New York Times article just came out yesterday, and one of the things that I really appreciated about this article was that they said it's great that people are daring to come out about mental illness and talk about it and show their face and change the face of mental illness. And that's exactly what we want to do on this channel. So for me, that's super exciting that they said that, and that it was on the splash page of the New York Times online, so it was right, the equivalent of the front page of the newspaper. So for me, having this article up there and talking about it and bringing this discussion to light is super exciting, and I'm looking forward to discussing it with everyone. Okay, here we go. Last night I was reading New York Times online, and I saw an article there, and it's kind of sparked some questions that I've been thinking about in my own head. It's actually something I brought up with my therapist. The article, I'll put a link to the article in the underbar, but the article talks about a man who's schizophrenic and how he handles it, basically. And he is able to distinguish when the voices are real and when they're not in the moment. He calls it very overwhelming, and he's not able to do it in the moment, but he's able to step back from those moments in other moments and say, okay, maybe that person wasn't making snide remarks, this doesn't quite fit together, so this might be me, not them. And he also doesn't take medicine unless things are really bad, which I thought that was interesting. I'm still fairly newly diagnosed, so my relationship with medicine, especially since I'm changing medicine right now, is still very, very new. I was under the impression that once you started medicine, you kind of have to stick with it, even if you change the types of medicine. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. What do you know about this? Here's where the conversation starts, maybe. What I wanted to bring up is the aspect of recovery. Can we recover from this? Because if this article was talking about this as are making the claim, and they themselves called it a controversial claim about whether or not you can treat this like an addiction, or you can treat the symptoms like you would an addiction. I kind of feel like yes and no. I think I'm a bit different on this channel because I live really, really far away from my family. Like, I live 4,000 miles away from my family. They live in the States and I live in Sweden. And so when I have an episode, I don't have anyone around me. I have friends, but of course, I mean, how much can you put on your friends? Or I feel like I can't put this on my friends. So I have, and I'm going through a really bad breakup, so I've kind of lost my family, the family that I had here. So I've had to put things in place so that when I go through these episodes, when I'm manic and I know I overspend, I've got a new rule for myself that says I cannot buy it that day. I can't. I have to go home, try to sleep, as you know, you don't really sleep then, and think about it. And if I still am like obsessing and I really, really want it, then I can go back. And actually, it doesn't happen that much. Like, mainly I can't be bothered to go back the next day. And then the other thing is when I'm depressed and I can't function, and I mean, I literally can't function. I have got all of the automatic payments going through my bank. So like, my rent gets paid automatically. Any of my normal monthly payments get paid automatically, so that I don't have to worry about it and try to function when I'm not functioning. So those two things are kind of, they cap how I could ruin my life, basically, because I came very, very close to doing that, living here and not having a safety net and not having any of these things in place. But if we get to Zach's topic later, where we talk about how kind of when our illness manifested and how that affected us, I'll bring that up then. It's actually a really hard story for me to talk about. But can we treat this like an illness? Can we recover? I don't think we can recover. We're never going to get better. from bipolar, we're always going to have these episodes. but I think we can do a lot to help ourselves in the moment. And it's not easy and it's not fun, and there are moments where I definitely feel like just giving up and saying, well, you know, manic feels really good after having been depressed for 6 months. Let's try, you know, why do I need to do anything about it? Why do I need to call my doctor? But I don't know. I think yes and no to this question. There are definite ways that we could support each other, like recovering addicts support each other. But at the same time, it's not something that we'll recover from. And I think using the word recovery in this, in my instance, I know it's different for everybody, but in my case, I don't think there's recovery. There's just living the best life I can. And I'm very committed to that. I'm still new in all of this, and I'm still trying to figure it all out. So I really want this discussion so we can talk about, what do you think? Do you think you can recover from being bipolar? Do you think you can recover? Is that a good analogy? Or, I mean, where does it fall short for you? For me, it falls short in that there is no recovery. There is only living the best life I can.